Good afternoon, brethren, and welcome to what is now becoming a regular weekly vlog from my home here in Gillingham. Following on from last week, some good news. I made the suggestion, firstly, that you might wish to consider using a WhatsApp group or similar within your lodge. Some lodges have in fact done that. Some lodges are using Zoom, which is the medium through which I'm talking to you this afternoon. It's all free. You don't have to be a geek to use it. It's very simple. Some lodges have also adopted a welfare committee, sharing the burden of the almoner between half a dozen or so of them. And in fact, I've had a call from my Dorset lodge, the Lodge of Benevolence, and I said, "Why exactly are you calling me?" And he said, "Because you're now on my list." So brethren, it is working. I also touched on the Relief and Assistance Committee and the work done by them and how quickly it could be done. Well, I'm pleased to tell you that one brother contacted the Provincial Almoner one morning last week. He needed funds urgently. The Almoner spoke to the chairman of the Relief and Assistance Committee, who spoke to the brother concerned, and within 24 hours, some money was paid into his bank account via the back system. So brethren, the system does work. Moving on, I've been asked several questions, one of which is the festival target being reduced? Well, brethren, the festival 25 was due to finish in February of 2025, and I've decided to extend it until October, some 8 months. And that would give us plenty of time to make up any shortfalls that are occurring because of our current lockdown. I've also been asked about chapter ranks, provincial chapter ranks. Well, companions, you've already had letters telling you if you are about to be appointed or promoted in Provincial Grand Chapter. The annual convocation should have taken place on the 27th of June, which sadly will not now happen, but your ranks will take effect from that date. And as soon as we are able to meet, I shall be calling a Provincial Grand Chapter convocation somewhere in the province, probably in one of our Masonic halls rather than Hamworthy, and it will still be your special day. Grand Chapter and Craft Grand ranks, they are being treated in the same way. They will take effect on the 29th and 30th of April, as they would have had there been an annual investiture. I've also had a letter from the Association of Friends of Zetland Court. As you would expect, they have been forced to cancel their annual fete this year, along with Zetfest, the music festival, which will leave them with a shortfall of funds for this coming year. Lodges have already been issued with books of raffle tickets for the grand draw, which would have taken place at the annual summer fete. Please, brethren, if you have such tickets, don't bin them or shred them, buy them. This way you'll be helping our vulnerable brethren, companions, and their wives or loved ones who are residents at Zetland Court. I want to pay tribute, as does everybody else who appears in video at the moment, to our National Health Service workers. They are doing an absolutely tremendous job with little thought for themselves. Join with me, brethren, on Thursday evenings at 8 o'clock, outside your front door, clapping, banging saucepans, or whatever takes your fancy. It will also give you a chance to say hello to your neighbours who might also be doing exactly the same thing. Social distancing is part of our social responsibility, brethren. We are Freemasons. We have a social responsibility. So I'm asking you, please, to adhere to what are now rules of the government and stay inside. Stay in your garden. Do not go out unless it's for the specified reasons, shopping, medical, or daily exercise. Because if we abuse that, I have no doubt that the government will step in and forbid us from going outside. Who will that affect? It will affect the many of our brethren who live in sheltered housing, who live in apartments and who have no garden to go and sit in. Finally, brethren, I'd like to pay tribute and say a big thank you to the Provincial Communications Officer, Worshipful Brother Mark Burstow, and his team. As Steve Wright would say on a Sunday morning, and his team, because Mark and his team are keeping us up to date via social media with everything that is going on, both in Freemasonry and the wider world. I thank them very much for doing that. Mark has agreed to continue as Provincial Communications Officer for the time being. And in order to ease the burden on Mark, I have decided to appoint Worshipful Brother Phil Coxall as his deputy. Brethren, if you have anything for our social media team, please therefore forward it to either Mark Burstow or Phil Coxall. Finally, brethren, stay safe, keep well, keep yourself active, and I look forward to the time when I can talk to you, not by this means, but in person.